So what? What is the big I? What is the problem? Everybody is banging on Clarissa Shields about her still being with Papoose because she's not married to him. And I mean, well, Papoose is still married to Remy Ma. And so there's this big, oh, boo, get a divorce. Let him sign divorce papers, boo. You ready to have a baby with him, boo. You ready to do all this, boo. He's still married, et cetera, et cetera. Yo, so what are you suggesting, that someone slows their life down because of somebody else's commitment of a piece of paper that is state authorized to give you sanction to be able to have permission to get married? And because some paperwork hold up, Clarissa needs to slow her life down. She needs to stop her life because of somebody else. And it's ironic because, not to really bang on anybody, but many of us have been in situations on both sides of the fence where either you messing with a married woman or a married woman has been messing with a married man. And it's just how we soon forget that we all been in those situations and positions before. But now we can sit back and tell someone to hold their whole life up, stop their life because of something that's state authorized that should control them. Are you serious? And like, I was talking to a friend and we were talking about that, about marriage and all of those type of things and stuff. And I said, well, the things that I have, the reason why I feel the way I feel in terms of marriage and all of that kind of stuff, is to sit here and be with somebody for that many years and then have somebody in a black robe who haven't spent a day in our marriage, haven't spent a day in our life, has done nothing, went through any trials, any tribulations, don't know, inkling about us at all, gets to sit back and make some ultimate decisions on our life because of state authorization of paperwork. I said I wouldn't dare put myself in that position again, to have or be in a situation where I can be at the behest of someone who does not spend a day in my life, make decisions about my life. So having said that, why would Clarissa then now let some situation or some system control her life at the time of her life when she's living in the prime of her life and is ready to move forward and do some things in her life for her? And another thing about this whole thing is that we also get so mixed up in the whole concept of being there forever. Oh, watch when this crash out. Watch when this is all over. Watch this. See what happens when it ain't going to last. See what happens. Everybody act like they haven't been in relationships that didn't last. Most of the relationships you've been in don't last. The whole anomaly of 30, 40 years, high school sweetheart, that is like very rare, slim to none. Most of the times you have multiple relationships that you've been in. So what you need to understand is a lot of times is that sometimes it's just a season. It's not forever. It was just a season. And because people go in with the mindset of forever, that's why crash outs take place. That's why people go bananas when things don't work out, because they're not abreast and hasn't been taught that, hey, keep your mind and your heart and your understanding open that this may just be for a season. And when that season is over, it's over. And you move on. And the quicker both of you can come in with that mindset and that objective to understand that there's a season to the situation, the less likely that you will crash out, and the more likely you'll be able to do whatever after that. If that means co-parenting or just having some type of friendship, you'll be able to sustain that when you go in knowing that. Like when they say we just outgrew each other, well, in the outgrowing process, try not to kill each other, crash out each other, humiliate each other, demean each other, ruin each other, wreck each other. Work to not do that, because a lot of times you outgrow any situations. Relationships is no different. You outgrow friendships. You outgrow a job. You outgrow a hobby. You can outgrow anything. Relationships no different. So you can outgrow a relationship as well too. So it's a matter of going in. So even Remy Ma and Papoose, that's why I was so like, stop with this, making him the poster child of black love. I was like, don't do that. I was like, because it could be a season to that stuff. And then when it doesn't happen, we put all of our energy into this posterness of this is what the idea of black love. And when that fails, we feel like black love failed. That's the danger in that. That's why it's not really cool to be, putting these people as the idealistic thing about what you want to do. They're human beings. They experience the same emotions and feelings, and they get tired of the same things. The only thing about them is they're in the spotlight. So they might have to put on a mask in front a lot more than they want to or have to because they're in the public eye. So I commend them in the sense of taking the next steps to move on if it's over. But there I say again, it's the crash out because for whatever reasons, it didn't last forever. So now I got to just crash out on you. So going back to the above, Clarissa shouldn't hold her life up for anyone. These are two adults that want to make certain decisions that they want to make. They make those decisions and they live with those decisions and whatever comes with them. But what I would hate for people to do is they hold their lives up. People always talk that you only got one life to live. You better live it to the fullest. You better do this. But then we put all these barriers on us about how we supposed to live this one life and how we should live this one life and then all of this stuff. Don't live by other people's barriers. That's how you can grow old and have a lot of regret in your heart and your life and your mind because you listen to other people or you try to live accordingly to somebody else's box or the societal box that they put you in. And I'm going to tell you one thing. When you really like wake up out of that box and you go, and it might not be telling when you wake up out of that box. You might wake up out of that box when you don't have the same strength that you used to have. You don't have the same will that you used to have. You don't have the same energy you used to have. You don't have the same money you used to have or whatever. The pizzazz, style, class, charisma. You don't have that anymore, the thing that you had. And you wake up and realize that you were living according to what and how and what other people wanted for the most part, more so than you wanted for yourself because you were trying to fit in and be accepted by the quote unquote societal ways of doing things that people say you should do them. And it can really render you to a place of regret at some certain point in your life when you have that awareness that you go, F everybody. I live the way I want to live and how I want to live. I'm not going to live according to somebody else's standards and the means of what they want. You can wake up to that day when all of those things I just mentioned are prevalent and you don't have that same stuff. So do it now. And then with a young lady like Clarissa, being the age that she is now, she should definitely by all means make sure that she enact that concept of I'm in the prime of my life. I'm doing the things that I enjoy. I'm with the man that I want to be with, share things with, do things with, be a part of my life and this success. Why should I wait and stop this for anybody else according to what they feel? Why? Tell me, why should I stop? Why? What good reason? Some state authorization paper? And you got to remember, people ain't really hung up on that. They're getting past the religion aspect of it. In God's eyes, and you still got people ain't really. That's some stuff and that's a whole other thing that a cloak around your neck as well too, in some instances. So people ain't really buying into that. That's why she's like, this is the plan. I'm moving forward, and I'm gonna have a baby next year, and then we plan on having one after that. And I'm gonna relax. Like, this is what I'm doing, in regards to what y'all talking about. And another thing, we don't know what's going on. Everybody can say, oh, yeah, it's funny how, you can be in situations and everybody's talking about how I'm waiting on them to sign a paper. All they got to do is sign. You don't know if that's the case. You don't know if it's the case. You don't know if it's simply as Remy's ready for the divorce. Remy's ready for him to, sign the papers, and he's just styling right now. You don't know if that's the case. And you got to think about something else. The more his net worth goes up, the more during the divorce decree that she might be eligible for. I think they have kids together, right? So it might bode her well for Remy to be like, go ahead, keep getting your net worth up, because according to Remy, when you left, you were broke, and now you met the goal. So let your net worth come on up, and then I'll hit you with the divorce and push for it. You don't know. See, this is all the things that can be prevalent. So you don't know. So, and if all these things are prevalent, and some of those things are outside Clarissa's control, she can't. Some of those, see, that's another thing that you don't understand. Some of the elements are so deep. Some of those things might be out of her control, and all she can do is control what she can control, and that is her life, her womb, what she can control. So the control that she does have over those things, it does serve her right to utilize those things to make her feel the necessary feeling that she needs to feel. And whatever choice she makes and whatever consequences that y'all can hear people saying right now that comes with it, it'll be what it is. It'll be the consequences that she just has to live with. But other than that, I say rock on. I say do you, boo. Do you. I'm out.